Hello, my dear students. Hope you all are well. Welcome to our English class. So, students, today we will read lesson number 3, a wise lesson. So, let's read and understand. Folk tales are stories which are passed down from one generation to another by word of mouth. Folk tales means lok gathaएं, stories which are passed from one generation to another generation by the word of mouth. Means people used to narrate the stories, okay, like in our families, our grandparents telling us stories. Then when we will grown up, we will tell those stories to our young ones, okay. So in this way, folk tales, lok kathaएं, stories, they passed from generation to generation by the word of mouth. मतलब ऐसे सुनाते सुनाते एक दूसरे को पास होती रहती हैं. Through these tales, the ethics of the culture are taught to the young and the old. So, mostly the stories are related to our culture, our religion, and what are our customs, okay, what we follow. So, through these stories, through these tales, what is our culture, okay, what is our religion, what are our customs, our riti rivaj, everything will be taught to the young and old through these stories. This is a Jewish folk tale, and in this lesson, which folk tale we are going to study, that is a Jewish folk tale, means Yahudi log gatha hai ye. Okay, so now let's read this story and see what happened in this story and what lesson we will learn from this story. In a town on a remote island lived a God-fearing man whose wife could not have children. So, in a remote island, okay, in a remote area, far, okay, remote means far away. In a far away area, in a town, a God-fearing means the person who obeys the God, okay, who follow the God, who is very religious, who has a fear of God in his her soul, in his soul, okay. So in a remote area, in a town, a God-fearing man lived, and his wife also, they both are living together and they don't have the children. One day, however, she became pregnant, and her husband, rejoicing in his heart at the glad tidings. So, rejoicing means pleasure, happy, khush, okay, and glad tidings means good news. So, one day, her husband, that person, God fearing man, got a good news that he is becoming a father soon. Then he was very happy after this, after listening this good news, and he said to his wife, you will give birth to a son who will be the comfort of our soul and the delight of our hearts. So, like after hearing this news, this good news, he told his wife that you will give a birth to a son, and that son, ठीक है, तुम एक बेटे को जन्म दोगी और वो बेटा जो है will be the comfort of our souls, okay, will give comforts to our souls, वो हमारी आत्मा को सुकून देगा, comfort देगा, and delight our hearts, और हमारे दिल को खुशी देगा. I will educate him and bring him up well, and he shall inherit my good name and increase my renown. Renown means famous, okay, name and fame. So the person said, oh, I will give him good education, I will provide good education to my son, and I will look after him, and I will take care of him, and one day he will bring a name and fame to me, okay. Thus spoke the happy potential father, but his wife replied, you speak foolish words, for the future is unknown to you. So, potential means to be father. So, जो वो फादर बनने वाला था इंसान, उसने बड़ी खुशी से ये सारे वर्ड्स अपनी वाइफ को कहे, बट द वाइफ रिप्लाइड, you speak foolish words, you spoke silly words. Okay, and whatever you are speaking about the future, and that future is unknown, uncertain. मतलब तुम ये जो foolish बातें कर रहे हो फ्यूचर के बारे में, उस फ्यूचर के बारे में जिसके बारे में हमें पता ही नहीं. How do you know that my childbirth is going to go well? Then his wife told that how do you know, तुम्हें कैसे पता कि मेरा चाइल्ड बर्थ, जो बच्चे का बर्थ होगा वो सब ठीक ठाक होगा. एंड आई विल गिव अ बर्थ टू अ सन एंड नॉट टू अ डॉटर, और आई विल गिव बर्थ टू अ सन ओनली, आई विल नॉट गिव अ बर्थ टू अ डॉटर. दैट द चाइल्ड इज़ गोइंग टू लिव लॉन्ग, और जो हमारा बच्चा होगा उसकी जो भी आयु है वो बहुत ज़्यादा होगी. ठीक है, ही विल लिव लॉन्ग, एंड दैट इट इज़ गोइंग टू बी रोबस्ट एंड हेल्दी. रोबस्ट मीन्स स्ट्रॉन्ग, और वो बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग और हेल्दी होगा. यू शुड नॉट हैव स्पोकन सच आइडल वर्ड्स एंड बोस्टेड. बोस्टेड मीन्स टॉक्ड विद टू मच प्राइड. So his wife said, like, you should not speak all these type of words, and you should not talk with too much pride, but left everything to God. but we should leave everything on the God. हमें सब कुछ भगवान के ऊपर छोड़ना चाहिए. हमें अपने मतलब किसी तरह से ये प्राइड में, अहंकार में आके ये बातें, शब्द ऐसे नहीं बोलने चाहिए. We should left everything to the God who control our destinies. Destinies means fortune. वट इज़ गोइंग टू बी हैपन इन द फ्यूचर. हमारे साथ फ्यूचर में क्या होगा, हमारी क्या किस्मत होगी. लाइक गॉड कंट्रोल्स एवरीथिंग एंड वी शुड लीव दीज थिंग्स ऑन द गॉड. इट मे बिफॉल यू एज इट वंस बिफेल अ सर्टेन डेरिविश. बिफॉल मीन्स लाइक द थिंग विच हैपन्स टू समवन. किसी के साथ कुछ हुआ था, कहती ऐसा हो सकता है कि जैसे ये एक डेरविश के साथ एक बार हुआ था वो तुम्हारे साथ भी हो जाए. सो डेरविश मीन्स a religious person, like a member of a group of religious person who performs the fast dance. So when her husband asked her what had happened to that dervish, she told him the following tale. So then her husband asked her that what happened to that dervish, what was the story behind him. Then her wife told her the following story. There was once a dervish in the service of a king. So there was a dervish, a religious person, and he was working for a king. The king used to give him a piece of cake and a bowl of honey daily. And on he was working for a king, so king used to give him a piece of cake and a bowl of honey on daily basis. The dervish used to eat the cake and put the honey into a jar which he always carried upon his head. So now what dervish do with that cake and honey? Dervish used to eat the cake. Okay, he used to eat that cake, and he used to put the honey in the jar, and that jar of honey he always carry on his head. Honey, however, in those days was very expensive. So this, when the time of this story, so that time honey was very expensive, very costly. One day the dervish, noticing that his jar was nearly full, thought of the high price his honey would fetch in the market. सो एक दिन दरविश ने नोटिस किया कि उसका जार तो मतलब नियरली फुल्ली है, मतलब फुल्ली होने वाला हनी से. एंड ही थॉट अबाउट द हाई प्राइस ऑफ हनी, मतलब उसने सोचा कि इसकी तो कीमत ही बहुत ज़्यादा है हनी की, सो मुझे मार्केट से इसकी बहुत कीमत मिल जाएगी. ओके, आई एम गोइंग टू सेल माई हनी फॉर अ पीस ऑफ गोल्ड एंड बाय 10 sheep. Okay, then he thought, I will give this honey, I will sell this honey in a market, and I will bring a piece of gold. ठीक है, मैं इस हनी को बेच दूंगा और एक सोने का टुकड़ा लूँगा. and buy 10 sheep, and after that I will buy 10 sheep, all of which is going to give birth to lambs. Lambs are the children, kids, babies of sheep. Okay, so he thought, I will buy 10 sheep, and those 10 sheep will give birth to the babies, and so that in the course of 1 year I am going to have 20 sheep. So ऐसे एक साल में मेरे पास 20 sheep हो जाएंगी, sheep को मिलाकर उनके lambs को मिला के. Then for sure their number will steadily increase, and in 4 years I shall be the owner of 400 sheep. So he thought, like in the same way, like जो sheep हैं वो birth देती रहेंगी अपने babies को, and in 4 years the number will increase and that time I will be the owner of 400 sheep. फिर मैं 400 sheep का मालिक हूँगा. I shall then buy a cow and an ox and acquire a piece of land. और फिर कहते हैं मैं एक cow लूँगा, एक ox and I will also purchase a piece of land. My cow will give birth to calves. Okay, calves means the baby of a cow. So cow calves को birth देगी. Ox will be useful to me in plowing my land. Okay, and like now we are plowing the field with the tractors. Earlier people used to plow the field with the ox. Okay, तो ox कहता है मेरी plowing में help करेगा. While the cows will provide me with milk and cows give me milk, in 5 years time the number of my cattle will have increased considerably. And he thought that in 5 years 5 सालों में मेरी cattle बहुत बढ़ जाएगी. Cattle means होता है the animals which we keep. Okay, the animals which we keep, जैसे काउज हो गई, शीप हो गई, गॉट होती हैं, दे ऑल आर कैटल्स. ओके, कैटल्स एनिमल्स को कहते हैं जिनको हम रखते हैं. एंड आई शैल बी द पोसेसर ऑफ ग्रेट वेल्थ. पोसेसर मीन्स अ पर्सन हु ओन्स समथिंग, मतलब मेरे पास बहुत ज़्यादा धन दौलत होगी. फिर आई शैल देन बिल्ड अ मैग्निफिकेंट हाउस. ओके, acquire slaves and maid servants and marry a beautiful woman of noble descent. कहते फिर मैं एक बहुत सुंदर सा ब्यूटीफुल हाउस बनाऊंगा. देन आई विल कीप स्लेव्स, गुलाम, मेड सर्वेंट्स, नौकर, and marry a beautiful woman, and then I will marry a beautiful woman of noble descent. Noble descent means the lady who is very good, who is having a good character and who belongs to a good family. Okay, decent means good family origin. Clear? She will bear me a son. Then that lady, my wife, will give me a son, a robust and beautiful child. Robust means strong and healthy and beautiful child. A lucky star will shine at the moment of his birth, and when my son will take birth, that time lucky star will shine, and he will be happy and blessed and bring honor to my name after my death. Then that dervish thought that my son will be happy and he will have the blessings of the God and he will bring the honor, ठीक है, नेम एंड फेम आफ्टर माई डेथ. मतलब वो मेरे लिए नाम, पैसा, मेरा नाम बनाएगा, मेरा नाम कमाएगा दुनिया में. शुड ही हाउ एवर रिफ्यूज टू ओबे मी, आई विल बीट हिम विद दिस स्टिक. तो उसने फिर ऐसे सपने में था, सोचा कि अगर वो मेरा कहना नहीं मानेगा, मुझे रिफ्यूज़ करेगा मेरा कहना मानने से, आई विल बीट हिम विद दिस स्टिक, तो मैं उसे स्टिक से मारूंगा. दस एंड डेरविश वॉज सो कॉट अप इन द डे ड्रीम दैट ही रेज्ड हिज स्टिक विच हिट द जार एंड ब्रोक इट. अब वो अपने दिन के सपने में, डे ड्रीमिंग में इतना खो गया था, लाइक ही डोंट नो दैट ही वॉज अनअवेयर अबाउट द थिंग दैट ही वॉज हैविंग अ जार ऑफ हनी ऑन हिज हेड. तो वो इतना खो गया, उसने स्टिक को उठाई एंड स्टिक को जैसे ही रेज किया, ऊपर मारा, देन द जार ब्रोक. ओके, द जार ब्रोक एंड द जार ऑफ हनी अलॉन्ग विद हिज डे ड्रीम्स वॉज लॉस्ट. और वो सारा जार ऑफ हनी भी सब बिखर गया और उसका सपना भी कहीं खो गया. आई हैव टोल्ड यू द स्टोरी, कॉन्टिन्यूड द वाइफ ऑफ द पायस मैन. पायस मीन्स वेरी रिलीजियस. सो the wife of that religious person said that I told you this story just to give you a lesson that it is not wise to speak of things that are uncertain. कि मैं तुम्हें ये सबक सिखाना चाहती थी कि उन चीज़ों के बारे में मत बोलो जो अनसर्टेन है, like about which we are not sure that those things will happen or not. Remember the words of King Solomon. Then she said, you should remember the words what the King Solomon said, that do not boast yourself, for you do not know what will happen to you next. Okay, boast means, boasted I told you earlier, talked with too much pride about one's own action. So कहते हमें कभी भी प्राइड के साथ, प्राउड के साथ नहीं बोलना चाहिए अपने आप के बारे में, उन चीज़ों के बारे जिसके बारे में हमें पता ही नहीं है. फॉर यू डू नॉट नो वट विल हैपन टू यू नेक्स्ट, कि वो हमारे साथ नेक्स्ट फ्यूचर में क्या होने वाला है. सो दिस वॉज ऑल अबाउट द लेसन एंड वट वी लर्न फ्रॉम दिस स्टोरी, दैट वी शुड नॉट बी utter those words in pride, like about what we don't know. हमें जिस फ्यूचर के बारे में पता ही नहीं कि क्या होना है कि नहीं होना है, उसके बारे में हमें अननेसेसरी बातें नहीं करनी चाहिए. ओके, आई लाइक अननेसेसरी टॉक्स एंड वी शुड नॉट talk with proud. Okay, so I hope you all have understood this lesson. Thank you very much and have a nice day.